Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Now, while I'm in the SHU, on the third day I was in the SHU, I'm laying in bed, you know, ain't nothing to do. I don't got nothing to read this third day, so I haven't had a chance to find out who's all in the SHU with me so I can get some reading materials, some pens, some paper, or whatever. You know, when I first got there, the people that was on the range sent me a couple envelopes and a couple writing paper and one of them flimsy pens and a couple stamps. You know, even if you don't know somebody, as far as like convict time, you know, when somebody comes in the SHU, you know, the first thing they need is some writing paper or whatever, just to let the people on the street know that they're not going to be able to call home or whatever. So just out of courtesy, since on some convict time, no matter who comes in the SHU, there's always going to be somebody in there asking them, hey, if they need some stamps and some writing paper or some envelopes. And if they don't give you anything else, they'll give you that. But mostly when you come into the SHU and people that know you're on the range, they know it's going to take you 2 or 3 weeks before you get your property and all that stuff, before you get anything. So they're going to send you a care package, maybe some shower shoes, some deodorant, some soap, whatever, just to get you started till you get your property. So I'm in there. I don't have anything yet. I got some envelopes, some writing paper. Somebody sent me a bar of soap. Because, you know, I just got to the compound, so no one really got a chance to get to know me. But there was a couple black dudes and a couple white boys that knew me from other spots. But like I said, we can't really get anything through the door. So we have to wait for the grace of the CO to be able to pass us soap and shampoo and deodorant and slippers. And for the most part, you're always going to find one of the COs that's going to do that for you. But you're always going to get a few douchebags that like, I don't pass shit. Oh, I don't pass shit. Whatever. But anyway, so on the second or third day, I'm laying in bed. I get a knock on my door. Boom, 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 boom. And it's a CO. So I walk to the CO and I look at him. I look past the CO and there's a dude in cuffs. He looks native, but I can't really tell because he's all wrapped up, you know, with those gauze bandage. You know, he looked like a mummy. His head's all wrapped up. His arm is wrapped up. Like, he got fucked up. Whatever happened to him, he got fucked up, right? So I look at the CO. I'm like, you fucking serious, man? Because he looks like a victim to me. And he's native. So for me, the history that I have with the Native Americans, they're not going to punish you and jump on you like that unless there's something foul with you. So now they're about to try to put this dude that's all fucked up in my cell. If he comes into my cell and he's fucked up, I know I got to punish him too. And I'm just like, damn, I just got out of this move. I ain't been here a month and I'm about to catch another shot on this dude that's about to come in my cell. So I'm looking at him. So I look at the CO. I was like, you serious? You know, because I'm not going to refuse to sell you. You know, but I'm trying to give him a chance. Like, you know, all you're doing is about to set this kid up to be a victim again. So I asked the CO, I was like, man, you serious? And the native dude outside is all wrapped up in mummy goes, man, I'm good. I'm good, Mesa. I'm good. You know, he can barely talk. His jaw's fucked up. I said, what? Because it surprised me that he knew my name because I couldn't recognize him. He's like, man, it's me. It's E. I was in the block with you. I just came off the bus. You know, he just came off the bus like 3 days before I got jumped on. He goes, man, I'm good, man. I promise, I'm good. I said, all right. So they popped the tray slot. I stick my hand behind my back through the tray slot, let him cuff me up. They open my door. He comes in. They push his bedroll in, his mattress. I let him uncuff up first because, you know, I'm not concerned that he can do anything to me. He's fucked up. So he uncuffs first. I uncuff, they lock the tray slot back, and they leave. You know, I'm looking at this kid. He's a youngster, and he's fucked up. Like, his whole shit is wrapped up. Like, when they had him cuffed up, I think they had him cuffed up from the front because his arm, he's all fucked up. He can't move his arm and shit is swollen. So I'm not concerned that I wouldn't be able to whoop him or win in an altercation with him. So before I made his bed and everything, I was like, hey, you know that people saw you come into my cell. People on this range saw you come into my cell. So by breakfast in the morning, anybody that needs to know about this business is gonna know that you're selling up with me. And if you're foul, that's gonna look bad on me. So I'm letting you know right now, if you're fucked up, because I'm gonna get a kite the next day. I already know it. I said, if I get a kite the next day and it tells me that you're fucked up, I'm gonna fuck your ass off, even though you're already fucked off, because I can't sit in the cell with you. But he, you know, when I said that to him, you know, he just looked at me and he's like, man, Mason, man, I promise you I'm good. You know, and he said it with such, you know, with certainty. Like, he wasn't concerned about him not being good. So you know, when he answered me with that demeanor and that manner, I kind of tapered my anger down a little bit, because, you know, I'm kind of pissed off that they even put this dude in my cell and put me in a situation like this, because I don't have a choice. I mean, you always have a choice, but I don't have a choice according to the lifestyle that I'm living by, you know. So I asked him, I said, so what happened? Why they jump on you if you're good? He's like, man, they try to say I'm a child molester, you know, because when he came on the yard, somebody tried to say they ran his name, and his name come up with a sex case and that he was a child molester. But he's like, man, it's not me. He goes, I promise, that's not me. He goes, my dad got a case, you know, he's a native, he came on from the res. I guess his dad has a case for statutory rape, because his dad was dating some girl that was like 15 years old or whatever, and got caught up and went to prison and did all that time for it. But his dad has the same, you know, they have the same last name, but they don't have the same first name. His name is Eric Canoyer, the native that's in my cell, and his paperwork checks out. He's not a child molester or none of that. But one of the native on the compound put that jacket on him. And I don't know how they did their background or whatever, but I guess the time of the incident, they were gonna hit him in the commissary room. You know, when you're leaving a unit, when you walk up the walkway before you hit the stairs to go up to the chow hall, there's a building right there that's commissary. That's the only building in USP Florence that doesn't have a camera. So that's where they bust their move. They lured him into the commissary because that day our unit had commissary. So they lured him into the commissary room, and the other two dudes that jumped on him were from another block. But there's no cameras there. There's no CO there. The door is open. So people that's coming out of the kitchen, you know, because commissary is usually done in the morning, right after breakfast or right after lunch. But you have yard moves in the hours between. So when people are going back and forth on the yard move, they can slip into the commissary room, say what's up to their homie, or, you know, go in there and try to bag up ice cream from one of the homies, you know, something. So I guess they lured him into the commissary room, and the two dudes that were supposed to hit him slipped in during one of the moves while they're waiting to go to commissary. And one of the dudes that jumped on him was his own homeboy from his res that came off the bus with him and knew him. So that dude knew that he wasn't, you know, whatever they're trying to claim. But The dude's been locked up before. They didn't tell him what he was gonna go on this mission for. They just told him, hey, we gotta hit this dude. This dude's no good. Even though the dude knew Eric, he wasn't like, they didn't have an intimate relationship where he knew everything about the dude. So they sent him into the kitchen. And I guess Eric was kneeling down, because you know, when you're in there, I mean, they sent him to the commissary room. And Eric was on the wall with his back to the wall, squatting down. He's never been locked up before. But in his defense, he really didn't have anything to worry about because he knew his paperwork was getting check out, and that he was good. But he didn't know that there was a plot brewing on him. So he sat, his back on the wall, kneeling down, and the two natives approach him. The same one of the bros just kicked him in the face. Boom. And that was a wrap. After that, they were just booing him, stomping on his head, booing him. They say they were beating his ass for like 5 minutes because there's no CO and there's no camera. And I don't know what alerted the CO to the incident or whatever, but they were beating his ass for like 5 minutes. So by the time they came and got him, he was fucked up. When they put him in my cell, I told you, he looked like a mummy. His face was all wrapped up. His arm was bent up because, you know, he tried to put his hand up to cover his head, and they just kept booting him. So they busted his wrist, everything, his jaw. Dude was a mess. Like, you couldn't see his face. You know, when they came and changed his bandage and shit, you know, his shit was fucked up, right? So, so he's in the cell with me now. So I'm asking, it's like, man, are you sure? He's like, man, you know, my dad's got a case for statutory rape, but me, he goes, I'm good, man. So right on cue, the next day at lunchtime, I get a kite from 2 different natives on the tier. One is on my tier and another one's on a different tier. So, you know, when the orderly comes, clean up the hallway, stuff after chow, they slide 2 kites in my door. I already know. So when I grab the kite, I get the little apprehension, you know, the feelings that goes on, nervousness, because I know, like, damn, I got the kite in my hand, and I'm looking at this kid. I gave him the bottom bunk. You know, I made his bed, because dude can't move. Dude's fucked up. So I went and jumped on the top bunk. I made his bed or whatever for him. He's laying on the bottom bunk. So I got the kite in my hand. I'm like, fuck, I'm steeling myself for the news I'm about to get, because I don't really want to do it to this dude, but I'm going to. And me, I'm not a person that relish in shit like this. I don't get off on shit like this. You know, everything that I've done through the course of my incarcerations were things that was necessary for my survival. Outside of that, I'm cool with all the drama and all the dumb shit. So I open up the kite and say, hey, what's up, Mesa? Respect, much love to you, and this and that, hope you're good, blah, blah. You know, the normal chit-chatter. Then he goes, hey, man, please tell your cellie E that we should send our sincere apology. The hit was wrong. The dude that made the hit, he had owed a lot of bills. You know, the dude that put the bad jacket on him was another native bro that was in a position to speak for the bros in his block, because at the time when I went there, the natives had a circle where everybody gets a voice, but they nominate one person out of each block to be the representative. So if an incident happened, you don't got 50 natives out in the yard compound, powwowing. So you just got the representatives to talk it over, and then they in return relay the message. So the dude, he was in charge of one of the C block, either CB or CA, and I guess he had ran up a bunch of dope bills, and he tried to tell when Eric came off the compound, he told the other bros that he knew him from the res, and that dude was a sex offender. And you know, the people that he spoke to at the time, some of them were his cousin, and some of them were his homies that he knew from the streets. So they felt that they knew this individual and he could take his word for it. And from then, they put the hit on E. You know, but when it came back that E was clean, that dude that put the hit on E ended up getting hit. I don't know the severity of the damage that they did to him, but the natives did make an attempt to correct their wrong and hit the dude that put the hit on E. You know, but yeah, sometimes you have to be aware of that. Be aware of that. Like people that get put in a position of authority or whatever, sometimes they have, you know, they make calls on personal reasons. Maybe they're hiding out. Somebody that came on the yard might be able to expose them for the coward or piece of shit they are, but they've been on this yard for however many years and tricked a bunch of the people that don't know no better, that there's some type of dude, and now they're in a position to make calls or whatnot. And a lot of times they make fucked up calls for fucked up reason. But at the end of the day, these people, when they do these things and it comes out, they didn't get their medicine. But so I was relieved to see that he checked out, and just him checking out, it helped me put away the wall in the defensive manner that I was treating him. And I was able to just treat him just another dude, and he ended up being a good dude. You know, the homie Eric, you know, he only had not even 3 years. He caught an assault case on the res, first time in the feds, and they sent him to the USP. Less than 3 years. You know, right now they're doing that to a lot of people that's only got like a couple years, less than 5 years, and they're sending them to the USP. And they're just setting them up for failure. They're setting them up to catch a new case, or they're setting them up to get killed. Because like I've repeated many times, it doesn't matter how much time you got. Once you're behind that wall, there's no guarantee that you're coming back home. Welcome to the USP.